Very important question. Kiru, do trading strategies stop working? Do you believe yes or no? And then let's start digging in.
Yeah.
In terms of what is the nightmare as a systematic trading that you have?
The
Okay. So welcome back, viewers. Today's presentation is going to be very interesting one. So Kiruba Karan, who is the founder of Square Off, and myself Vishal, founder of Market Scanner, where we discuss a lot of ideas or the thought process as a systematic traders that we go through. And I think so today's topic is very important, and I really wanted Kiru to take this topic because as a system trader, even I have a lot of questions around this. I really want to pick Kiru's brain over here and ask Kiru a very important question. Kiru, do trading strategies stop working? Do you believe yes or no? And then let's start digging in. One
no
answer.
man, I won't believe that a particular trading strategy will stop working if it is tested with at different market cycles. Your
Okay.
whatever the time period that you are testing, if it is few years or no just 1 year or 2 year, the number of years doesn't matter. In those number of years, have you covered the different market cycle? Bears, no, most people will say bearish, bullish, and sideways. But I would say in bearish there is also low volatility, high volatility. In bullish there is low volatility, high volatility, and sideways. So there are different market regimes. So once we test the parameters in all these different market cycles, then a particular trading system will not go broke so easily. So the problem comes only when a particular person testing it with a very lesser number of data sets, or he is completely new to trading world and trading strategy systems. And if he's testing with a last few months of sample size, then such things can happen. And mainly the most of the beginners know they spend so much of time and effort in building a specific trading strategies. Like even I have spent so much of time in 2014 and 15 developing a specific trading strategy, and I wanted to go live. I've spent almost some 7 to 8 months in developing that one specific trading strategy. I even named my AFL as life changing AFL. So I have, and after that it was like version 1, version 2. There are multiple versions of life changing AFL, but none of them worked. But what I was eventually doing was I was just curve fitting the complete data. So I had so much of parameters like moving average, Bollinger Band. I had all the indicators, almost 20 plus indicators. And then the backtest was so neat and good. It was so smooth, very minimal drawdown and very minimal losses. And finally I went live with almost 5 lakhs of personal loan, and I couldn't even bear 2 to 3 weeks of live trading. And by the end of fourth week I realized, okay, this is not going to work, because I completely curve fitted my system. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to check what was the complete the given data. So in that given data I was trying to fit it with like whatever the stop loss parameters, time frames, everything that I wanted to keep as an additional parameter, and wanted to bring a perfect result, which ended up in curve fitting the system. So when I went live, it was not at all working. So
So
this is
Kiru,
something
sorry,
most
stop
people.
you here. Stop you here.
Yes.
Can you explain me in a layman's term what is the curve fitting?
Fine. So let me tell you a small story. Consider a person who's a wildlife photographer who comes to this place in a specific forest. He wanted to explore all the wildlife that is living in that particular place. So when he came to this place, he realized that this place is completely a kind of a deserted land. Very little water or no water is there, and very little trees were there. So he wanted to build a shelter there over couple of months, and he wanted to sit there and observe all the wildlife, and take all the wildlife photography, and wanted to observe all the wildlife movement there. So what he did, he eventually wanted to build a small shelter for himself so that he could stay there and do all these observations. So he built a shelter, but when he was trying to build a roof, instead of building a concrete roof, he was just covering it up with some sheets, because he observed that in the last couple of months it was not at all raining. Even from the day he came, it was not raining, and even the place looked like it was not at all raining for many hundred years. So his observation was that this place is not going to rain at all, so why should I spend time and so much of money in developing a concrete roof? Instead, let me cover it up with normal sheet. He did that, and within 2 to 3 weeks there was an enormous rain in that area, and it was actually flooded. And it was flooded so much that his complete shelter got destroyed, and whatever the things that he kept inside the shelter, everything was destroyed. This is what you call it as curve fitting, doing something based on your recent observation, and then not trying to develop a system based on it. So if someone comes to a market and tries to develop a trading strategy in 2017, consider for an example from 2008 to 2020, the this is the chart that you see is the actual bank nifty movements. So 2008 and 9, you could see the ATR percentage on a daily basis is almost 6 to 5% of ATR. So 6% of bank nifty and 5% of bank nifty, that is the price that you could see. So bank nifty would be moving thousands of points on a daily basis. That was so normal in 2008 and 9 because that was a global financial crisis period. Then from 2010 to 15, it was almost normal. But 2017, if you observe, that was the lowest volatility ever recorded. So anybody who is coming to a market, consider a person coming to a market in 2017, and he thinks, okay, this market is so calm and neat, and there was no volatility, no big gaps, no gap downs and gap up. Let me build an option selling strategy without a stop loss. So 2017 would have been a phenomenal year for him because there was no much volatility at all. So eventually he created that system and minting money in 2017. But eventually 18 and 19, we know what happened in 19 and 20. It was so much of volatility, and the same system would have not worked perfectly. And when someone is building a system with that kind of an observation, only with 2017 kind of an observation, it is not going to help him. So I would say you need a different market cycle to develop a trading strategy. And then you have to test it how it works in these different market cycles. And then you have to deploy it. If someone is deploying a strategy with the very recent past, definitely it would have not covered multiple different scenarios. So in that kind of system would definitely go broke. That
So Kiru,
is
I have a
my,
question here. So I'll ask a lot of questions. Okay.
yes.
In terms of the like recency bias, you want
Hmm.
to remove whatever we have seen recently, and you have to take a different cycle. So how long a trader should go back to kind of decide boss, this market cycle I have covered in this year, 1 month, 3 month, 5 month, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. What is the end to this? So how do we decide the period where we have kind of seen different cycles?
See, even the number of years is not actually matters. So if you could see, even someone who's into trading, they can clearly see 2008, 9, and 2020 are some of the extremely volatile phase. So what you can simply do is find out the number of. You can just list the ROC, like what is the rate of change on a daily basis, and find where the number of gaps are there, where the large number of ranges were there. So large number of ranges, large number of gaps, all these phases are volatility phases. So I would say more than, instead of giving emphasis on 10 years or 15 years of backtest, even 3 or 5 years of backtest is fine. But where those 3 years is coming from? Have you consider the years like 2008 and 9? Have you considered year like 2012, which was completely sideways? Have you taken a year like 2017 where it was trending on a daily time frame but was not at all trending on intraday time frame? So more than the number of years, we have to cover these kind of different market cycles and test it. And if it is working fine, then we can go ahead with it. But no, like for an example, I would tell you the blunder that I did during my early phases. So let me share you my AMI broker screen. Are you able to see my AMI broker screen?
We can see. We can.
Yeah. So what I was doing during my 2000 for early ages of mechanical trading system is, I'll say, suppose I have a year. So this AMI broker gives you a good tool called optimization, where you just in order to find out what would be the best EMA. Say suppose someone is trading with a golden crossover 50 or 100 or whatever it is. If I wanted to see, okay, 50, 100 is giving me a very little no profits, I wanted to increase my profits, the SAMI broker gives you no option to optimize it. So that would scan for multiple different parameters, what are the different permutation and combination that can give you a highest profit. So I just used just two averages, a shorter moving average and a longer moving average, that's all. And I tried optimizing it. So when I try to run the optimization, within fraction of seconds, it is going to tell me which, so 6,600 points was the total points I made in Bank Nifty with a simple moving average. And the moving average numbers were 60 and 20, which is the shorter moving average is 20 and the longer moving average is 60. So I thought, okay, so this is for a period of 2017. So a guy who getting started with only this particular data will think, okay, a 2060 moving average is going to give me the top results. So I'm going to follow this. So if I have followed the same thing in 2018, consider next year. So consider that we were on 2017 December, so we tested it for 2017. Now from 2018 onwards, I'm going to trade this strategy. Now if I see what would have given me the result of the same 60-20, if I could see this 60-20 has actually given me a loss of minus 1760 points. So the actual one which was giving me profit was some other moving average. It was 70-80. So the combination differs based on the market ranges.
But what is the
So
most interesting thing, Kiru, here is the long is 70 and short is 80. How is that possible?
that is what this optimization will give you.
True, true, true.
So, no, when you are trying to do all these different parameters and trying to get the best results, everything changes and finally you get the desired result. But when we try to go live, everything changes. So I know with respect to any trading system, don't spend too much of time on having multiple different parameters. So because why, first of all, a trading strategy should work, because the market regimes changes, everything changes, but human behavior never changes. So when you just go and sit in front of trading view or sit in front of any of the a trading chart and just watch the trading charts for the last 5 years or 10 years. So once you do this, what would happen is you can easily observe there are certain repeated patterns that keeps observing over a period of time. So even a simple trading strategy is like 22 days breakout. So this is the actual PNL of a 22 days breakout trading strategy. So whenever the last 20, find out what was the last 22 days high, what is it last 22 days low. Whenever the high is broken, go long. Whenever low is broken, go short. This is a simple trading strategy, and it has been working well for the last couple of years, and it's still working because there is no multiple parameters that has been involved here, and no different logics or multiple indicators I have used. A simple 22-day moving average, and this is exactly what happens, because it is not the number of losses or streaks of losses that is going to give you a nightmare. It is how long your particular trading system is going to be underwater. So when a particular trading strategy is underwater for a prolonged period of time, that is when people will think, okay, this is not working. Probably I should throw in the towel and move to some other trading strategy. So when a particular system is underwater for a prolonged period of time, and that too any trend following system, or any kind of system, whenever there is a no shift in market regimes, it can stay underwater, but it doesn't mean that it stopped working. So that is where people will need to have their faith in the system. So once they trade, say suppose someone who trades with 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs, whatever the capital size they have, but if it is a simple trading system and if the system is not making returns for 3 months, 4 months down the line, they will jump from one system to other system, because why should I stick to it, because it has not given me any returns in the last 4 months, so probably I should move into the next system. So that is what they'll believe in. But no, if you check this actual live performance of Bill Dunn, so I see this, I mean, I show this chart in every webinar most of the time, because this guy is so crazy, like a one single trend following system that is applied on multiple different segments, equities, commodities, and other segments, and he's running for almost 40 plus years. You could see the strategy is has given more than 13 times drawdowns, which is greater than 25%. So imagine having multiple drawdowns. So whenever no particular trading strategy, whatever a trend following strategy you're dealing with, most of the time will be in drawdown. Only couple of times we'll be hitting all-time high. So the moment you hit all-time high, you should be ready for the next streaks of drawdown. Again, you will be hitting an all-time high, and again there will be drawdowns. So that is the actual phase of any trend followers. And if you could see, comparatively, this build and chart, and this the red line that you see is the S&P index, and blue line is what you see is the Dunn composite. Bill Dunn is one of the famous hedge fund analysts in US who manages millions of dollars. So a guy who's managing millions of dollars is go through a drawdown like minus 43%, minus 63%, 28%. In spite of all this, every time after these streaks of drawdown, it eventually not only recovers the losses, it moves up and makes all-time new high. So that is exactly what a particular trading system will do if you are sticking to it.
So,
So
Kiru, I have a very, very interesting observation here, and I think so, we should keep an eye on that. Imagine that you started your trading system, and first thing that you saw was minus 52% drawdown. How many of beginners who are starting to trade a system with a 52% drawdown will stick to the system? He
right.
stuck at a 52% and did not kind of do away with the system, which ended up 30, kind of majorly he's outperformed the index. But most of us would throw in towel once we hit like half of our capital in the system.
Very true, man. Very true. When we say, like, when you develop a system and you see, okay, 30% is the maximum drawdown, you see it in Excel. But the moment you see a 15% drawdown off of it, that's all. You lose all your patience. So, and that too, if your actual live drawdown crosses your historical maximum drawdown, that's all. You lose your complete sleep itself. Unless and until it comes and go back from the drawdown to completely recovers your drawdown, it is very very hard to stick to such kind of systems. And but that is when people will say, so the moment it crosses your historical drawdown, you will think whether this particular strategy has stopped working or not. So you can't really say that from that moment itself whether it stopped working or not. But as long as your strategy is well tested for a prolonged period of time with different market cycles, we don't need to be worried at all. And the thing is, first check whether your particular trading strategy is having a edge or not. So it's not, so whatever you see on the internet is not going to give you any edge. So somebody can say, okay, this is going to be an 80% profitable trade. I have asked him, how did you come to know about the strategy? Because someone shared in Twitter, he said. So in Twitter, many people will be sharing a past couple of screens, like it could be last 1 week movements, last 2 weeks movement. But based on that, if you try to test the data and see whether it is working fine or not, it would not be giving you a positive results over the long run. So if you are following a specific trading strategy and you wanted to know whether it is having an edge or not, this is the actual formula to find it out. Find the expectancy of it. What is the probability of winning? Find out your winning percentage and multiply that with your average winning size. And then you detect that with your, what is your losing percentage, and multiply that with your average loss size. So when you do this calculation, it will know it is going to give you a positive results or it's going to give you a negative results. For an example, for this positive expectancy, which is having a 35% winning accuracy. This is for an example, any trend following system will have this kind of winning accuracy around 35 to 40%. So we have a 35% winning accuracy, a 65% losing accuracy. But when you are making a profit, you're making on average 300 rupees profit. But when you're making a loss, your loss is limited because it is you're cutting short your with the fixed stop loss and coming out with 80 rupees a loss. So when you calculate this overall expectancy, you are getting a positive output of 53 rupees. This is a normal thing that can happen with any trend following system, because with trend following system, all it matters is how much you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong. Similarly, this is, say for an example, you have some other mean reversion system or some other high winning accuracy system, and it gives you 80% winning accuracy. But when your average when you're right is giving you this just 130 rupees, but when you're making loss, that loss is very limited. You're losing only 20% of the time, but still that loss is 550 rupees. So when you do this no expectancy calculation, it comes out around the -6, which is a negative expectancy. So no matter how disciplined you are, no matter how tested with multiple different historical data sets, if the expectancy is negative, there is no use in trading that strategy. Only you are going to burn out your total capital a bit later, that's all, but eventually that is going to go to zero. So trading edge is something that is really really important with respect to whatever trading strategy trading system that you are dealing with. And second thing is, the I always would prefer having a higher profit factor. So a profit factor is nothing but what is your average profit and multiply that with your total number of profitable trades, and what is your average loss, multiply that with your total number of losing trades. Once you divide that, that is going to give you the profit factor. As long as this is much higher, then that can, you know, tackle your slippages, transaction cost. It can handle everything. So when your trading strategy is dealing with a higher number of trades, usually the profit factor will be lower. When your trading strategy is dealing with, you know, larger time frames and very limited number of trades, your profit factor can be, you know, bit higher. So based on your system, it changes. So that is what I wanted to convey. So now with
So
respect to trading strategy, whatever it
I have
is,
few questions. Just hold on. I have few questions. So
yes.
usually when we say, I don't know whether you're going to cover in the next few slides, but a question would be like we as a system trader take the rule of thumb, because somewhere we have to draw the line, and somewhere during our back testing we can say that okay, we have not optimized the system, we have taken whatever the ground, the principle first principles of tradings were, but somewhere you will draw the line that the system is not working for me. Now if I would want to draw line and say I will stop trading this system, maybe it reaches 2 times 3 times, uh, otherwise I would keep on losing my capital, because I still believe that strategy will not go out of fashion, I will have a drawdown. So at what level or where should I decide that what should I do?
So people know I have two different things. So one thing is, see, normally I have a fund manager. I mean, I know a fund manager. So he handles a specific trading system. What when I have a conversation with him, what he told us, he follows two things with respect to any trading strategies. First thing is, just like how we have a specific stop loss to any of your, you know, trading strategy systems, he'll have a stop loss to his overall strategy. Say, suppose if my overall strategy crosses a 30% losses, I would stop trading that system. I'll know completely come out of it and I make it as a paper trade. And only when, you know, once it comes out of that particular phase, I'll get back into it. So that loss, you have to observe what is the maximum, you know, losses that you have faced as per, you know, your historical backtest. As you said, it is, say suppose you have lost 10% as a maximum loss in your historical backtest. It's 2 times of your maximum drawdown or 3 times of your maximum drawdown, comes to around, no, 20% or 30%. So the moment he, you know, it touches that, he'll move from live to paper trade, because that is almost 2x or 3x of standard deviation of what maximum drawdown is. And in one of the videos, what I have observed with respect to Jim Simon's video is, he was discussing something related to the same questions. And when one of an audience asked the same questions to him, like what would be the, you know, a point where they would stop trading a specific system or a specific model, he said he follows a 20 standard deviation on its maximum drawdown. Find out the maximum drawdown and see what is the 20 standard deviations of your overall drawdown, you know, rows, and from that, whichever is, you know, hitting a 20 standard deviation, the moment it hits that, we would come out of it. So that is what he has said. And another interesting observation that I have not personally tried it, but no, I've listened to many people saying that it has worked fine for them, is applying a specific trend line on their equity curve. So you have an equity curve and you apply a specific trend line. As long as the trend line is not broken, they continue to trade the same system. The moment it goes below the trend line, they move to paper. They don't trade it
Okay.
and they wait for it, because it implies that your system is out of the sync with the markets. So the market regime changes. So these kind of phases, like for an example, if someone is following an intraday trading system and if he has applied an, you know, equity curve on his, you know, intraday trading system on 2017, it would have actually saved him from a prolonged drawdown phase. So it's not going to, you know, it's not going to completely help you, but somehow it can, you know, make you to stay away, and, you know, the complete under equity order period, you could have come out of it. So these three things is what, you know, I have observed, and most people, all this during in the fund management industry, when I had a word with them, they told me these parts. And of all, the only thing that is going to save us is have a diversified, you know, strategies, because that is not going to give you an enormous profit, but that is going to give you a calm peaceful night. So having a one strategy and no trying to go mad with that, instead of that, have multiple diversified uncorrelated diversified strategies. It's not that, no, we have a trend following system in bank nifty and having one more trend following system in nifty. That is not two different strategies, that is still the same. So I have an uncorrelated strategy. If you have a trend following system, I have an option selling system. That is what most people are trying to do now. So because this is a low volatility regime and this trend following system might not work this complete year if the same low volatility continues, but an option selling can, you know, help them to save. So have a diversified list of uncorrelated strategies, and also increase your position size when you're making profit and decrease your position size when you're making losses. This way you are not going to blow out your complete capital no, when that particular regime shift changes and market stays in a prolonged period of time. See, any trend following system will continue to work, but how long it might be in underwater, we do not know. So when you try to trade it with a reduced size for a higher number of periods, say suppose this, consider this 2021 is completely gone, no much volatility. Still, I would be trading in 2022 because I have enough capital. I would be kept on reducing my size. I would be risking only 0.5% or 1% in a trade. So even if the no, in spite of continuous streaks of losses, I would have not suffered a huge capital blow by the end of this particular year if the volatility did not come up. So these two things is definitely going to help any of the trading strategy, in any mechanical trader, be it whatever system that you are doing it, in order to make the equity curve smooth. Once you have these two things, a diversified portfolio of strategies along with a proper position size to increase or decrease your lot sizes based on the market movements, that can give you a smooth equity curve. That is going to help you, because once you do that, you will not ask these questions whether do trading strategies stop working.
Okay. So let me ask few questions that popped up in my mind. Okay. Um, so strategy does not stop working unless it is a curve fitted strategy. Is my understanding correct? So if it is based on a universal principle like a trend following always work, mean reversion always work, market will go through a volatility regime. So if you build your strategies on the first principles of trading, then it will always work, but it will have a drawdown.
Right,
That's
it will have a
perfectly okay.
drawdown. It can be underwater for a prolonged period of time, and that phase is not what you call it as a trading strategy stop work. That is normal.
What about the regulatory changes? Okay, I'll tell you a simple example. Okay, say at one point of time, BTST, buy today, sell tomorrow, was phenomenally profitable trading strategy. But what we have seen is as the pre-opening had started coming in, people are able to find out that people can participate early in the morning if there were any newses, right? Not on the first trade, and there is a cumulative pre-open has come up. I would not say it has stopped working, but the edge has deteriorated significantly, because what
Right,
used to happen is if there was no news, if
right,
there was no pre-open and there was only opening price, you would have everybody jumping on the opening prices. So do you
right.
think that kind of regulatory changes the strategy to stop working or no?
It will not make the strategy to stop working, but it can reduce the return significantly. For an example, consider this intraday leverage. Nobody thought that
Right.
intraday leverage would be removed. So from September onwards, it's the leverage is whether, no matter you
Gone.
are intraday trader or overnight trader, the leverage is same. But if
Right.
someone has calculated the returns based on this leverage instead of
Hmm.
actual capital, then they would be in root shock, not the other traders who have all know.
Hmm.
Because if someone is trading specific trading systems properly, they would have not considered the margin as their capital. At least
Hmm.
you need to consider your drawdowns 3 times of your drawdown plus the actual margin that is required, and then you, when you try to come up with the actual capital returns and everything, that would give you a decent outlook. But when someone
Sure.
is applying the margin that is required, obviously that they'll be in a root shock, because whatever they have seen so far, they are not going to get the same after the regulatory changes or after the margin requirement. So it is something that can, it's not that it's going to stop working completely. The returns can significantly get reduced based on what that particular trader is applying. And that is why we
Understood.
should have the multiple diversified trading strategies, so that even if something goes wrong with one thing, another can still help you out to smoothen out the equity curve.
Okay. So as an individual trader, if I don't have capital to run diversified strategies, and if I have only money for one single strategy, and if it is going through a drawdown, what should I do?
That is where position sizing will help you. So when you're following a position sizing, because that the moment you have started with 10 lakhs, or once say consider you have only 1 lakh and you started with it, and you're trading with, consider you're trading with 5 lots, and 1 lakh comes to 90,000, you trade with 4 lots, and again it comes down, you trade with 3 lots. But if the 1 lakh is going up to 120 or 130, and you increase your lot size. So when you're increasing and decreasing your lot sizes based on your capital, then no, that is not going to put you in a danger zone. But when if you're only one lot trader, and this position sizing would be very, very difficult. You should be ready to lose all your capital. Say suppose you
Okay.
have 5 lakhs capital and then you're trading with 2 to 3 lots, then it makes sense. If you are having only one lot, and then if you're trading with limited capital, then we should be able to afford to lose all the capital. Otherwise, there is no position sizing at all when you're dealing with one lot, right?
True. No, I think so. I have got all my questions answered, and I hope many of the viewers who has been watching this for last few, sessions as well would have definitely got benefited from it. So awesome,
Sure.
Kiru. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vishal.
Awesome.